My name is David Howty. I'm a hypnotherapist here at the Advanced Hypnosis Centre in Glasgow's East End. This is a short video to demonstrate a wee technique that we use very often called thought field therapy. Ideally, if you're using this video just now, there's a good chance that you've already come into contact with me and I've gave you this video as a means by which you can keep up to date with the technique, keep on top of the emotions that it deals with. The technique is very safe. The very least that will happen if it doesn't work, which is rare in itself, the least that will happen is that you'll feel the exact same way as you did before you did the technique, so you won't be any worse off. I've yet to meet anybody who hasn't benefited in some way out of the technique. The technique is based on acupuncture or your meridians, but sometimes people worry about starting talking about energy fields, but just think about it. If you've got thoughts or feelings that when you think about them, or certainly thoughts when you think about them, you start to get certain emotions, that creates a certain energy field or kind of blockage in your energy field. This technique uses very similar principles to the acupuncture, in that we actually start to tap in on certain acupuncture points where we're thinking about certain things, certain emotions, and it releases the negative charge attached to them. Now, just so that you're really aware from the very beginning, this technique does not take away memories. It might take away how you think and feel about them, as far as feeling uptight or anxious or stressed about them or depressed, but it won't take away the memory itself, which incidentally is actually a good thing, because everything that's happened in your life, there's always something to learn from it, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation. Without going too much into particulars, the one way I would say it with this technique is, if you've got serious or even general mental health issues, as far as depression, anxiety, and even beyond that, bipolar, any kind of major mental health issue as well, always seek guidance from your GP, and regardless of how much benefit you get out of using this technique, never ever stop using any medication that you might be prescribed right now. Don't stop attending any additional therapy or counselling that you may well be going through right now. These techniques work with virtually every kind of healing method or therapy modality that we can think of. I don't see how they wouldn't fit in with most of them, but always seek the guidance of your GP before you decide to change any medication or any therapy that you might be undergoing. The other thing about it is this technique is very powerful, but if you're sitting alone and this is the first time you've done this technique, it's probably always a better idea just to, whatever you're going to think about using the technique on, don't aim it too high. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't take away the big major things, but very often what happens is when you feel something, when you think about something that feels bad, if it feels that bad, that you're less likely to actually be able to sit there without going completely into that emotion. So let's start it with something a wee bit milder, and then if as you start to notice the benefits of it, that you'll see that tackling big things is obviously another step that you can take. Often people say, how does it work? The technique works, it's a strange technique, basically. That's why I'm kind of struggling to put the right words towards it. It's a strange technique. When you do the technique, you're going to think to yourself, if this is the first time you've ever seen it, there's a good chance that you'll actually be sitting thinking, this is a bit weird. Yeah, get over that weirdness, get over that bit at the beginning, and actually start to sit back and enjoy the benefits that you get from it. It works for most people most of the time. If you follow my suggestions and follow my instructions during this even demonstration video, you'll actually find that it worked for you also. Again, just to keep on reiterating it to you, it doesn't take away memories. It doesn't also take away your ability to act and react in times of stress. A bit of stress is actually alright. Everybody's heard about the flight or fight situation that's inbuilt into us. You will still have that, but the technique will take away all, if not most, of the stuff that's out with that part. If you're using this technique for depression, which encompasses sadness and hurt and things like that, and you're using that for the grieving process, or you're going through the grieving process rather, What I would say to you about this point is, and you know, before you actually do this technique, I want you to stop and ask yourself, am I ready to actually start to feel differently? Now, the technique itself, again, doesn't take away memories, but what it does do is it will change how you perceive things, how you, the emotional reactions to these situations when you think about them. It'll change how that affects you in a positive way. But if you feel you're not ready to even do that, I would do whatever you're doing already. Just go away and only do this when you're ready. It's a technique that you don't actually need to believe in this technique for it to work. But what you do need to believe is that not only is it powerful, but you can actually use this technique yourself without any guidance and support. This video in itself will actually help you to do that a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, and then you'll find that you don't ever actually have to look at this video again. It'll become second nature to you. Now the technique involves, it's called thought, the actual technique where it's based on is called thought field therapy. It's again, it's like an energy therapy. The way that I do it, I've sort of changed it a wee bit based on the experience I've got with it and the experience I've got with other kind of modalities, and threw a couple of other wee things into it that you can actually do easily, and it will actually make it that bit more powerful for you. Ideally, you know, when you can use these techniques, I would encourage you to use them proactively. And I'll explain a wee bit more about that as we go along. Most people want to wait till they're in the moment of something and expect that they're going to actually feel like doing it. Well, experience will show that when you're right in the midst of an anxious or a stressful moment, or you're really feeling right at your height of the depth of depression, you're less likely to go for this technique because, well, one, it involves getting the video out for the first few times. 2, it might even just involve reading it off a bit of paper that I might have gave you, but you just don't feel that way. So ideally we want to use it before these things happen, or at the very least, if you've managed to find yourself in a state of depression or whatever it is you're in, wait till it just starts to ease off and then do the technique, and it will hopefully either completely take away what you're thinking about right now or what's bothering you right now, or it will do most of that. But again, when you use this technique, you'll find that certain things happen that you didn't expect, but they're actually all good things. Now, the technique itself involves, instead of using a needle like they use in acupuncture, we use 2 fingers, and you can use it on either hand, and really involves tapping a certain sequence, or what they call an algorithm, a sequence of tapping points, which basically helps you to release that type of emotion. So the first technique that I'm going to show you, the tapping technique I'm going to show you is the technique for anxiety, stroke, stress. They are pretty similar, but they're also pretty different as well, these 2 emotions, but this technique seems to encompass both of them. So whether you experience stress, or whether you're feeling really concerned about the future, or you know the feelings you get when you're stressed or anxious. So what I'm going to get you to do, first thing we get you to do with this is, first of all, just use this part here as the bit where I'm going to take you through it. So you don't need to know too much about it, any much more than what you know right now about it, and I'm sure after you might be interested in finding out a bit more about it. But for now, what I want you to do is actually just sit, wherever you are right now, sit where you are right now, sit still, and actually think to yourself right now, what are the things that are stressing me right now? What is my concerns right now? Again, if the things are so massive that you don't feel that you're in a good position there to sit and do it, aim for something in the middle of that. So it's not too low, but it's not too high either. If that's the way, if you feel it. But if you feel you can go and go for the high one, that's fine also. So first thing is, start to think about the things that actually stress you. Most people are kept awake at night time by stress. They're thinking, they're worrying about what's happening the next day. If that's the case, what is it that's keeping you awake? What are the things that you're thinking about? Now, don't dwell on them, just think about them. Now, as you think about them right now, rate them from 0 to 10. Right now, as you're thinking about them and as you're feeling right now, not how you felt about them yesterday or how you might feel about them tomorrow, as you're sitting there right now or wherever you are, thinking about the things that bother you, make you feel stressed and anxious, 0 to 10, where are you right now? Where are you on that scale? Now, let's just pretend that you're at a 10. Now that we're pretending you're at a 10, so whatever you're at right now, you just go along with that. So let's just say we're doing it as a way up at a 10. Whatever number you're starting with, the first thing that you always do with the stress technique, the anxiety technique, is this. I want you to take 2 fingers off either hand, and you can tap under either eye as long as it's your own. I want you to just tap it about maybe 5 times. That's slightly more. Tap under your arm, and it's where the panel on the bra is if you're a woman, and it's in line with the nipple as if you're a man, unless you're like me. Anyway, and I want you to tap here on your chest. Now, on your chest, find an area in your chest that feels quite tender when you push it in a wee bit. So tap that. You only need to tap about 5 times. If you tap more like I'm doing right now, it doesn't really matter. It's more likely to empower the technique rather than disarm it. The next one is I want you to tap this bit here, which is called karate chop for all you Bruce Lee fans. Tap that. Now I want you to stop for a second. Now take a big deep breath through your nose. And as you hold it in, just begin to slowly let it go. And just feel your neck and your shoulder muscles just sinking down a wee bit. Now, at this point, you can ask yourself again, you can think to yourself, well, how high is that right now? Or you can carry on with the rest of the technique. We'll do this as if we're stopping at that point. So now that you've took that out breath, measure it now. Measure that thing, those things that were going through your mind that caused that stress or that anxiety. Now, whatever your number was at, it's very rare for you to not have moved. For some people, incidentally, as you're watching this DVD right now, or this video right now, you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, I can't even think about what that was bothering me. I can't get it into my mind, or somehow the pictures will not come. For others, it'll be, I can still think about it and still feel it a wee bit, and that's good also. If you're one of these ones that can still think about it and still feel it, get a feeling for it, see how much it's moved. It's probably moved, but listen, even if it's only moved 1 notch, that's fine, it'll keep on going, that's a good thing about it. If it moves a little, it'll move a lot, that's basically what I'm saying to you. So whatever it's moved towards, that's fine. So say you've got it down for, say I said it was at a 10 there and I got it down to an 8, say, right? So whatever you've moved it to, I want you to get the back of your hand, and it's with in between the pinky and the ring finger. Now, what I want you to do now is I want you to tap all the way through this part. I want you to keep tapping, and I want you to close your eyes now. Open your eyes. Now keep your head as steady as you can, look down to your left hand corner, and head as steady as you can, look down to your right hand corner. Now keep your head steady again, look towards the ceiling, and then go one direction where your eyes just roll all the way around, so you're at the wall, the floor, the wall, the ceiling, and then go back round again the other way. Keep tapping all the way through. Here's a silly bit. I want you to hum a couple of notes, say happy birthday. Count it loud to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum that wee tune again. Okay, now get 2 fingers again, back under any eye that you want, as long as it's your own. Tap underneath your arm again, it's where the panel on the bra is in line with the nipple if you're a man. And back on the chest again, either side again, it's where the sore spot is. Now, tap on the karate chop. Take a big deep breath. And relax, just let it all go nice and slowly. And just feel yourself just relaxing right down into wherever it is you're sitting or standing, whatever you're doing, just feel yourself relaxing. Good. Now, a number of things may be happening at this point. One, most likely is that you're feeling quite chilled out, you're feeling relaxed. The amount of people who are actually sitting now watching this video and saying, I can't even think about it now, where are they thoughts? I can't find it. The number of people doing that at this stage will be quite near enough in total, most people. It happens that way for most people. For anybody else who's left that isn't quite there yet, and you've still got some sort of register for it, ask yourself a couple of questions. First of all, how strong is it? How strong is it left? And and the best way to ask yourself when you try to measure it again is, how strong is it down here? Not up here. How strong is it here? See, you may have an idea of the thing that's stressing you, and actually in your mind think, oh, it's way up at a 10. But when you try to send that message down to your stomach and ask yourself, or whatever it was you got the discomfort, where is that discomfort now? You'll probably find that even now that I've just said that to you, that it's actually not there at all, it's just a thought. And if it was just a thought, then it's not a feeling. If it's not a feeling, it doesn't have any power. Now, that thought isn't going to disappear I told you that it doesn't take away memories, it won't take away thoughts really either. It will change how you think about things, and it knew that when you think about the thing that you were stressed about, there's a good chance that you're actually thinking differently about it. I can't tell you what that is. I can't tell you what you'll be thinking about that situation. Quite a lot of people say, well, there's nothing I could have done about it. It's out with my control. It's, you know, that's not my problem, it's somebody else's problem. Whatever it is you're thinking about, thinking now as a response to it, has got to be a better response than what you did when you started. Again, this technique, if you're not completely doing it at zero, it's simple. Do the tapping technique again. So the tapping technique is here, under here, here, here. Big deep breath, all the way out again. And then you go back onto the back of the hand again. Eyes closed, eyes open. Keep your head as steady as you can, looking at either your left hand side or your right hand side first. And then do the other end. And then do a full circle for the ceiling all the way around in one direction. Full circle all the way around the other direction. Keep tapping all the way through. Hum that wee tune. Count it loud to 5, quite quick if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum that wee tune again. So, back to here again. Tap underneath your eye. Tap underneath your arm. Tap on your chest either side. Do the crack chop again. Big deep breath. And then let it all go. That's the anxiety stress technique, guys, in a nutshell. You slow the video down, pause it, whatever you need to do to get until you get used to the idea, and then you'll probably find you don't need it. You don't need to do the video, you'll find yourself tapping automatically. More importantly, probably what you might find is that when you're thinking about situations that stress you, if situations like that turn up in the future again, that your minds get used to the idea that this is your new reaction, this calm, and they just don't bother you. One of the things that you might notice at this stage is when you ask yourself, whether if you started off at something quite mild compared to the big major one, ask yourself right now, and do this right now, just briefly in case it's still there, but most often than not it's okay. Try think about the big thing that was bothering you. Try think about the big thing that you were worried about tackling. Try think about it and try get a feeling for it. Now you might be able to get the thought, but try get a feeling for it. The majority of people right now doing that will actually discover that it's completely gone. That you've just not got that. You've not got that feeling that goes with it. For the most part, quite a lot of people will be thinking right now, oh, he's just distracted me. Okay, so say I did distract you. I'm not distracting you now. Go and try think about it. Try get stressed or anxious about anything that's happening in your life right now. If it does feel, if you've got any feelings for it, ask yourself something simple. How do I know it's stress? How do I know it's stress and it's no anger? How do I know it's stress and it's no frustration? Or how do I know that it's actually stress and know something that's happened in the past that's bothering me? I think you've actually already started to sort things out there. You've realised that maybe if there is something there, it'll be a different emotion. And different emotions will get taken care of different techniques, but you'll probably find that this sweeps the floor with quite a lot of them. That's the anxiety stress technique in a nutshell, guys. I'm going to move on to do the next one, but any questions about it, you can get in contact with me, but to be quite honest with you, it's a simple technique. You don't really need to be kind of medically or kind of therapeutically trained. It's a technique that right now you're learning it. Now I don't encourage you to go and teach other people this. I don't encourage you to work with a group of people or even another individual as in your role as a therapist, because this isn't a training video. This is a self-help video. So help yourself, and once you've helped yourself, it's a lot easier to help others. Okay, thank you.